All right, welcome back to the Addicted Motors channel. So, for those who've been asking about the Volvos, I'm going to give you a little status update. All right, so in my last video, we picked up a very nice, very rust-free and original little Volvo 240 1993 DL, I guess, is the model classification. It's a neat little car. It's a 92, 93 build date, so it's got some interesting, slightly more updated features. But you know what? I thought it was just a nice little car. I fixed some of the speakers, installed a factory radio, which I haven't got to make sound because I'm sure whoever wired up the old one didn't have everything sorted. Everything works. AC even works. Found that out in the last video. Windows work. You know, not that these have a whole lot of features, but this is an interestingly option one. You know, you do have power windows, heated seats, power mirrors, heated mirrors, which is an interesting option as well. And yeah, I think going on to that, the only issue that I'm still fighting, and it's really why I'm making this video, is the brake lights. So my troubleshooting so far has not led me to any conclusive discoveries, unfortunately. Let's run around back here. I've got tail lights, I've got hazards, I've got reverse lights. I don't have brake lights. You know, I've done the usual checklist of troubleshooting related techniques. I've cleaned these connectors and inspected them. Come on out. They don't look terrible. I mean, one has a little bit of rust there. Some of these connectors apparently have been known to go bad. So, get that back in there. Oops. One option would be to replace this circuit board. Great. Now I can't get it back in. Perfect. Well, I'll do that when I have two hands. And, you know, obviously, you know, clean the connectors, check the bulbs, move these around to see if it's a circuit board issue or a power issue. Clean the grounds seem fine. But some of the other symptoms is this brake light is on and off, even though I'm not on the brakes, which is interesting, which might lead to some type of water intrusion related problem. Let me plug this back in. That's interesting. With the light unplugged, this third brake light stays on. When I plug it back in, it goes on. So that's interesting. So yeah, I don't know. Again, it seems more like a wiring / circuit board issue than it does a hardware or emergency brake issue. Because again, you got a faint glow there. These lights work. When you hit the brake pedal, I know you can't see, but you should be able to see the cracks in that rear, or the reflection in the Land Cruiser's lights. You would be able to see the brake lights lighting up, but you do not see it. The other thing I've been told to check is the brake pedal switch, which is kind of hard to see under here, but up there you can feel it. And I do hear it engage because it unlocks the automatic the selector. You can hear it selecting and going in and out, so it's not that. The other thing I haven't checked is the light out indicator, the little can in there that I've seen, which I don't think that's the issue either, because the lights work, the actual signals work. I mean, it's not like there's not power going to them. It's just it's a receiving issue, which leads me to believe there's something in the circuit board that's not matching up. So that's really it on the 240 as far as updates and progress. Again, I kind of hit a wall a little bit with the issues on the brake lights, which is really preventing me from driving it, which is kind of a bummer because it does drive very well. I did buff out this headlight a little more, so it's a lot clearer than it was previously. Add the roof rack because Volvo 240. Doug also did a driving video on it, which you can see on his channel, Doug's Cars. So feel free to check that out. And oh yeah, I cleaned it out. Again, it looks. This is a very presentable presentable ride. Obviously, there's a couple pieces that I still need. I just haven't been able to make it back to the yard recently. But it's super clean in here for being, you know, 30 years old for the most part. I don't think I ever really did an underbody shot, but again, this thing's it's not really rusty at all. And Volvos, either they rust or they don't. It's just depending on how they get taken care of. The last, that $400 760 or 940, where the hell that was, had some serious rust issues that weren't immediately so yeah, just finishing up the walk around here. Nothing else has really changed all that much, and you know, just have to get some more details buttoned up, and hopefully she'll be a little better than she was before. So a quick driving update in the V70XC. I really enjoy driving this car. I do more than I realize. The tires are fairly new, and the suspension is very decent. There is a clunk, which all Volvos have a clunk up there in the front end somewhere, but you know, it tracks straight, it drives nice. It's not a clunk over bumps. It's probably something to do with one of the axles, or just a sway bar bushing or something like that. But it feels very solid. It feels balanced. You know, again, it feels like it's got good meat on all four corners. There's a little flare between the 3-4 shift. I'm sorry, the 2-3 shift, which is apparently very common with the 5-speed that they put in these transmissions. There's some type of solenoid that needs to be adjusted or cleaned out or whatever. But you know, if you're not slamming gears, which I'll probably be doing when I cheap car challenge this thing, then you should be okay. But I mean, other than that, it really does. It drives like a Cadillac or a Lincoln or something that's big and floaty, but with a little slightly more solid feel, and with the addition of all-wheel drive. So I'm the combination is actually much more it's much more interesting than I thought I would anticipate. I actually probably enjoy driving a little more than the V50, minus the gas mileage, which I'm sure is going to be a little bit less. But the AC is still working occasionally. Like, it likes to work for, you know, 10 minutes of driving and then kind of cut out. And then I'll open the windows and inevitably, you know, get back in the car, and it'll work again for 10 minutes until it cuts off again. So it's, you know, it's a give and take. But, you know, there's some other little features in here that I never noticed before, like the grab handle here. Interesting, you know, kind of like a Cayenne. Other features such as the rear windows have a little, like a plastic surround on the window part, which makes them a little smaller than a regular V70. But again, this does definitely feel a little more rugged, a little more solid. Again, it is slightly lifted, but you know, it's just got a good square feeling that makes it a great car to drive around Richmond, honestly. Eats up the bumps and whatnot without any major complaints, and will put the power down a little better than I think I'd give it credit for before, besides that scary 2-3 shift that I get sometimes. But you know, good brakes, super comfortable seats. These like Volvo stitch seats are absolutely amazing, and it's just a nice car to just cruise around in. And it's a big car. They've always felt big. But I think when you put it in this kind of 4x4 wagony feeling body, it kind of changes the dynamics and gives you a little bit of a, you know, you don't feel like you're tempted to do anything or any quick maneuvers or drive it like a sports sedan. So yeah, that's really the update for the wagon so far. let's check it out. So, let's see how it looks under here. So I know I've got a power steering leak. That's a given. You can see it everywhere. You can see I've got a slightly torn boot, and that would look like someone tried to repair it with a zip tie. I purchased a new boot, like one of those ones that fits over the old one, so that might kind of help curb the bleeding, as they say. But you know, can't fix them all. That looks like transmission. Little transmission seepage, but you know, honestly, not terrible. There's probably that noise you're hearing when I'm driving around. Either the catalytic converter or that, you know, aluminum cover down there, probably rattling around. But not terrible. You know, these things are, again, if you're noticing, they're pretty beefy. You know, you got this stupid fake skid plate thing here, but you know, it's pretty solid under that. You know, I need to replace one of these fog lights, but it seems to be there. Let me see what that boot looks like. Apparently it said there might be a CV joint in my future. Let's see if I can get the camera up in there. Yeah, that probably couldn't hurt. That might be some of the clunking that I'm getting. But yeah, I just wanted to check it out for the first time, but everything else looks fairly solid for a 20-year-old semi-broken Volvo. Yeah, so not unhappy about that result, and not surprised either. I haven't really done much else to this. I've been driving it around. Like I said, it's pretty enjoyable to drive. It's just like a big old truck, basically. That is not a truck. So hopefully we'll be able to test the four-wheel drive out here on the farm coming up if it makes it there. Haven't done much else or really cleaned it up. I do like this color blue. So we're gonna give it a wash coming up. Probably change on a few, no, I'm not gonna change on any of the fluids. They should be done. I'm not even gonna put beefier tires on it. I think these tires are fine for my purposes. Maybe add a roof rack or something. But no, this one, I'm still pretty happy about this buy, and we'll be doing a little bit more to it in the future. So that's the Volvo update. I don't wish I had more, but that's really it so far. I've been kind of bogged down with some other things. Since this runs and drives fine, it's not really high on the priority list. The 240 will be my next junkyard run. I did, however, I did clean this up a little bit, get most of the trash out and drive it around, and unfortunately, oh, like there's the back all closed in. Man, this thing is awesome. Unfortunately though, as you can see by the stains, on the new pavement here, we lost a brake line and we're able to limp it back to my house, but that's it. It is now semi-permanently stuck here until I get a brake line fix. It's right here below the air box, if anyone knows about the configuration with these cars, where the line is rusted and just looks like it separated. There's 4 lines that are stacked on top of each other, so years of accumulation of junk probably helped with the corrosion of that. So this thing is indefinitely down and I'm ruined at my house, but we'll get this maybe back up and running soon. We'll see. We have the 24-hour VIR race coming up, so that's really eating up the time for the additional projects. But once that's over, hopefully we'll go ahead and give it another shot. So that's all I got for you in this video. Appreciate you watching. I'll be providing more updates coming up. Again, lots of cars on the channel. You can see they're kind of scattered all over the place, but I just figured I'd give everyone an update for the questions I've been getting so far. So appreciate it, and feel free to subscribe and check out the rest of the channel. Thanks, guys.